Today we're going to talk about style reference, which is a new function that just came out on Midjourney where you can use the style of any image that you want so that it references that style and outputs it out for you. Now, the reason I like it so much is because there are certain types of art form from the 1950s, 1930s that aren't coming back. Like either the artists are not here with us anymore and it's just not popular, there's not enough money going into it. So now to pay homage to that old style, the best way we can do it is to have it referenced as an image and have that style be outputted. I also have to add that please use this responsibly. Don't go out and steal people's styles. Be creative. Come up with your own style. Use it in a way that's good. Anyways, let's get started. We'll jump into it and I'll show you how to use style reference. So today we're going to use a couple examples that I have saved. And these references are from Wong Kar-wai's films, which is a famous director from Hong Kong in the 2000s. Now, some things for you to take note are the colors of these. It's kind of like a neon, dark colors. And this is essentially what we're trying to replicate. So something more of a vintage filmy vibe, or not even completely filmy, but more of like VHS and a bit old school. So we're going to want to recreate this, and using style reference, we can recreate this. Now, this is powerful because previously you would have to come up with the exact prompts and understand which words are going to give you this feeling. But here, if you note, you can see things like the grain, the colors, and a bit of the blurriness too. And all of these are parts of the element of this whole vibe. And unless you know every single part of it, it's tough for you to quantify which terms to use as you're prompting. And so style reference is very helpful for that. Now, to access style reference, all we have to do is go on to our Discord and then prompt as usual. So /imagine. And then from here, you can prompt whatever you want to prompt. So maybe a motorcycle in Hong Kong. And then from there, you're going to do -- sref, so style reference. And then after that, you would drag in a link or you would drag in the link to these images. So the way that I would do it is I could upload all of these to Discord. So let's upload these to Discord. And then I'll paste these in Discord. And then once these are uploaded to Discord, I'll have these links. So I can copy link. Here's one. I'll copy this other link too. Here's two. And then this link as well. Here's 3. All right, so now that I have these links, I would just have style reference with these links following behind it. Now, to make it easier, I'll just copy these and then I'll start my prompt again. So /imagine, and then with this prompt, I would say a shopkeeper in Hong Kong at night. And then I'll paste the style reference that we are referencing. And since we want to keep it more of a cinematic theme, let's do aspect ratio of 16:9. And then I will run that. Okay, so this is what we got. And it's these images with that same tone that we're talking about, a bit more of that vintage feel as well. Let's go look on browser. Just like we mentioned earlier, a bit of the fade. Looks like it's a VHS, more like something 20 years ago, not super sharp. So this is perfect. This is the vibe that we want. And another thing to note too, that if the style reference doesn't give you the exact feeling that you want, you can also change the weight of how much is referenced. So let's do /imagine again, and then we'll just set up our prompt as something like Hong Kong night scene. This is not important. You could put whatever you want in here. And then we'll insert our style reference that we copied from earlier. And then from here, you would add another parameter. So -- style weight. So this would be the weight of the reference that's used. So by default, it's at 100, but we can have it at 1,000 if we want to just completely replicate this reference photos that we're giving it. So let's run that. And if you notice here, Midjourney has these shortened for us. So if you want it to be less messy, we could just copy this. Now this has style weight copied, but we can just copy it without the style weight. So I'll just copy that. And then since we like to run multiple renders at the same time so we can get more images to look at, let's go ahead and run a few more things. Here we can do female on motorcycle in Hong Kong. And I'll paste that style reference. And we'll also do a style weight of maybe 500. And we'll see if there is much of a difference. Okay, so this Hong Kong night scene just came out. And then here we have this. And this is essentially the vibe that we want. Now, one thing that I've noticed with this as we're doing the style reference is that it does tend to reference the images that we give it a lot. And if you try to venture out, for example, and you want something to look really different. So for example, these are the Hong Kong night scenes that we have. But if I want something with a lot of neon lights like 1980s Hong Kong, then the way that I would do it is I would give it an image to reference first and then generate as usual. And our female on motorcycle one just finished. This is also very nice. It has the vibe that we like. Now this is at style weight 500. So you can see some of these aren't as emphasized as this one. This one, I feel like it is a bit more focused on how we had the references before. Like this one, you can see on the bottom right, it's a bit more modern looking, kind of sharp and clear, but the others are very cool and matches the vibe. So let's jump onto the example that I was talking about how if I want to have a lot of neon lights in this scene, how we can do that. So for example, let me start off by just prompting it without a reference image. And this is the reference image in the front and not the style reference. So I'll do Hong Kong city scene with neon lights and a lot of people. Just a vibrant scene, you know? And then I'll do our style reference. And then let's do the aspect ratio 16:9 again, so we can keep it more cinematic looking. And then I'll run this, but let's repeat this 2 times so that we can get more images to look at. Okay, so we got our renders, and as you see here, there's not too much of neon lights. Like Hong Kong was famous for having a ton of neon lights back in the day. So the way I would do it is I would have an image for it to reference first. So we'll do the prompt as usual, and to keep the style reference that we have, I want to paste that style reference first, just so we have this parameter at the end. I'll also do the aspect ratio 16:9. And then in the beginning, I'm going to have an image for it to reference. Now, this could easily be done by going on Google and looking at Hong Kong downtown 1980s neon lights. And we can just go on one of these images, whichever one you think looks good, and we can copy the link. Now this one looks fun and has a lot going on, a lot of people, a lot of neon lights. And like you can see, this is what I was referring to, how back in the day, Hong Kong has a lot of like neon lights and it's this vibrant city, kind of like Las Vegas. So I'm going to copy the link to this image, and then I'm going to go on Discord and I'm going to paste that in the beginning of the prompt so that we have that to be referred to. And then I'll also type in Hong Kong city scene with neon light and a lot of people. Now I will copy this style reference that we have so we don't lose that. I'll also include the aspect ratio part of it too, just so we don't have to type it in again. And then we're going to run this. So let's do repeat 2, as I like having 2 sets of run time so that I can get 8 images to look at. Okay, so sometimes these links turn out kind of strange on Google Images, so we might just have to click on it, and then once we click on it, we can just copy the image from here. So just to check and make sure everything's okay, this doesn't have like a .jpeg or something ending, so it could get a little complicated. So let's just move on to a different image. Okay, so this one I like, and it's on Pinterest, so I'll go and copy this image link. This one ends in JPEG. If you see that it ends in something like this, something familiar.png, it's probably easier for Midjourney to reference. So let's go back and paste in this new link that we have, /imagine. And then I'm going to go and get the style reference that we have, paste in the style reference. And then I'm going to grab this link that we just found, paste that in as well. And then we'll do the Hong Kong city scene with neon lights and a lot of people. So let's run this. And here we go. We have our images rendered. And from here, we can see it still has that effect of like the faded kind of greenish tint on it and the not extremely sharp because it's more of a vintage film. This whole look is in here, the feel is in here, and I really like these generations. Let's look at the other one as well. This is the other generation. And if we look at it, it looks pretty realistic. If somebody told me this was a photo from back in the day, I would believe it. Unless, of course, you can read Chinese and you can see that maybe some of these words don't make sense. But there you have it. This is how you use style reference and style weight. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoy that, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, do the actions, help promote it. And if you want to learn more about this, AI, and creativity in general, I do have a class below that I'll link. So click on that and I'll see you in the next video.